Bungie tried to make Marathon easier to try, and somehow the PlayStation Store made the purchase harder to understand. Crucially, for a game fighting for its life, this was not just a glitch, it was a wall. Anyone who opened the page during the free week can see why the story became drama instead of marketing. Players saw Marathon Deluxe Edition, $14, and thought they found the cheap door into the full game. Then the explanation arrived, and it sounded like a receipt arguing with common sense. Some buyers had not purchased the full Deluxe Edition at all. Instead, they had bought a deluxe upgrade, linked to a base game the store thought they owned. And as we will see, this is not just a Bungie mistake, it is a trap built into the way PlayStation handles your library. Nobody cares about digital licenses until they realize their money just disappeared. Because the store saw the free trial and assumed the player owned Marathon, it offered the cheaper upgrade price. From there, normal people saw a discounted deluxe package. Underneath, the purchase only made sense if the customer already owned the base game. Here is the whole mechanism in language. Trials let you play for a limited time. Upgrades add extras to something already owned. Stores should never blur those two ideas while asking for money. $14 is not huge money, so shrinking backlash to price misses the insult. People are saying the page looked like one product, then behaved like another. Customers do not only hate paying. Gamers hate feeling tricked after trusting the buy button. During this mess, the deluxe label carried more weight than the upgrade logic. Many users saw the game saw deluxe wording and assumed the base package came with it. Others argued the price was obviously too low for a full paid edition. Both reactions make sense. Suspicion was fair because the discount looked strange. Clarity mattered more because suspicion should not be required to understand a store page. No conspiracy theory is needed here. Sony's storefront created a bad signal, players followed it, and Bungie cleaned the smoke publicly. Granted, Bungie made the smart move afterward. Affected early buyers were honored with the base game. Fixing that group stopped a larger refund war. Still, Bungie fixed the mistake, but not the bigger problem this mess exposed. Modern digital storefronts are a disaster. Strategically, the free week needed to feel simple. Ideally, people would try the game, understand the loop, and decide whether Marathon worked. Rather than that, the conversation became account access, edition rules, upgrade wording, and trials. For Marathon, this hit at the worst possible angle. Extraction shooters where players grab loot and risk losing it already scare casual players. Since the store also feels punishing before the match starts, the fear becomes stronger. Worse, the headache begins at checkout. Wait, it gets crazier. Seriously, since when did buying a video game require a law degree? Confusion like this hurts more here, because Marathon still has to prove it belongs on your hard drive. Reality check, Marathon is not Fortnite. Fortnite can trip over a rake and still wake up rich tomorrow. Call of Duty absorbs confusion because habit and audience size protect it. Unlike those giants, Marathon has to earn every return visit from players who are not sure yet. Before anyone cares about skins or passes, the game must feel worth keeping installed. Inside a rescue week, clarity matters more than packaging. Once the first public question becomes whether people bought the game, the pitch has lost control. Bigger issue is the mess of not actually owning your games. Modern game stores are packed with editions, bundles, passes, cosmetics, trials, upgrades, and perks. Together, they turn a checkout page into a small contract written for tired customers. Whenever someone needs Reddit, support pages, and gaming sites to understand a purchase, the design failed. Blaming players is the lazy route. Most buyers are not trying to exploit anything. Usually, they are trying to buy the product shown in front of them. Wherever language gets vague, companies keep the money while customers keep the confusion. Precisely why this Marathon story works as commentary is simple. Lazy videos can scream that for 5 minutes and collect easy agreement. Better commentary explains the chain. First came the free week. Next, the trial made some accounts look eligible for the cheaper deluxe upgrade. Afterward, buyers believed the listing included the actual game. Later, people realized the purchase mainly covered extras unless the base game was owned. Finally, Bungie honored affected purchases and gave those buyers the base game. If that sounds like a headache, that is because it is. Break down lives there. Now comes the proof, plain and simple. Audience members need what the page showed, what the account implied, what the price unlocked, and what Bungie honored. Claims need to be separated from proof, because there is a difference between saying the store confused people and saying the company planned a trap. Screenshots, store wording, support responses, and reporting matter because they anchor the anger to something visible. Cynically, Sony store logic may have lit the match, but Marathon still breathed the smoke. Frankly, this also fits a wider PlayStation Store problem people already recognize. Sometimes, your library behaves like a confused clerk holding 3 receipts. PlayStation Plus versions, trials, upgrades, and deluxe bundles can block later purchases. Consequently, players have been trained to expect nonsense from ownership menace. Therefore, this is not a Bungie moment. Built this way, the store confused buyers, and Marathon became the face on the billboard. Cynicism works best after the audience understands what happened. After facts are clear, the joke writes itself. A company tried to lower the barrier to entry, and the store built another barrier out of addition logic. Somebody wanted to test Marathon, and ended up testing consumer patience. Another customer thought he bought the game, then learned he may have bought the fancy pockets on the jacket. Ridiculous as that sounds, the complaint is grounded. Digital stores should not make temporary access look like permanent ownership. Upgrade pages should shout that the base game is required in language nobody can miss. Deluxe editions should not be presented in a way that lets ordinary buyers confuse extras with the full product. Basic store hygiene would prevent this. Community reaction was predictable because nobody had to invent anger. One side said the price should have warned everyone. Fair enough. $14 for a full deluxe version of a new paid game should raise eyebrows. Opponents said the page looked like it included the game. Also fair, because most people do not inspect purchase logic like accountants defusing a bomb. Opposing truths kept the argument alive. Clean mistakes die fast. Confusing mistakes survive because everyone can bring a receipt to the fight. Meanwhile, Marathon's pricing question stands in the room. Early free weeks made players ask why the game is not free to play already. Free to play is not magic. Unchecked, it can make monetization uglier, increase grind, and turn every menu into a shop window. However, paid live service games have to prove the cover charge quickly. Commercially, Marathon cannot charge entry while begging people to sample the atmosphere. Trial periods say, please try us. Paid entry says, commit first. Those messages can work together only when the store experience is clean. At launch, those messages collided. This is not just Bungie's headache, it warns anyone pitching a game in a crowded market. Messy store pages mean your marketing has already lost. YouTube viewers will click this if the title explains the absurdity directly. Hooking viewers is easy with this contradiction. Players bought Marathon and still did not own Marathon. Contradiction gives the viewer the whole problem instantly. Clickbait does not need to lie when the situation is already strange. Visually show upgrade on one side and full game on the other. Such graphics matter because the logic trap must click instantly. Commentary should not waste time pretending this is a mystery novel. Explain the store mistake. Show why buyers thought they had the game. State what they actually bought. Mention Bungie's fix. Connect the mistake to Marathon's fragile trust. Only then, widen into not truly owning your games. Viewers expected that when they clicked. They did not click for dramatic throat clearing. Audiences wanted facts, claims, and evidence behind the noise. So give them the breakdown before the roast. Full blame may not belong to Bungie for the storefront behavior. Platform behavior may have created the bad purchase path. Store design may be the real failure. Yet Marathon still takes the image hit because the game name sits on the headline. Perception does not wait for a technical investigation. Public trust works unfairly, but it works fast. Every confusing story adds weight to the same public feeling. None of that changes how bad this looked during a moment meant to rebuild confidence. Right now, Marathon's biggest enemy is not hate. Hate still means people care enough to argue. Bugs can be patched. Servers can stabilize. Messaging can improve. Weird store mistakes can be forgiven when affected buyers are made whole. Exhaustion is different. Additional explanations spend patience. Fresh addition confusion spends trust. Repeated support clarification tells casual players to go elsewhere. Eventually, the average player does not rage. He leaves. Quiet exits should scare Bungie more than angry comments. Anger still creates posts, searches, and videos. Uncertainty creates one click. Total exhaustion closes the tab. That week did not need another fight before the match loaded. It needed trust, momentum, and a clean invitation. Sadly, the free week became a deluxe edition ownership dispute. Importantly, Bungie fixed the immediate purchase issue, and that matters. Nevertheless, the warning remains bigger than one compensation decision. Games now compete on clarity as much as graphics, gunplay, or content. Buying the game should never be harder to understand than playing it. Otherwise, the storefront becomes the first boss fight. Unfortunately, Marathon walked into that fight at the worst possible time. Clearly, this was not random hate, nor was it fake outrage created from nothing. Basically, A paid live service game tried to win attention while the store made digital ownership feel like a prank. Ultimately, viewers need this story: a free week, a $14 deluxe upgrade, buyer anger, a smart fix, and one ugly lesson about trust. Editors should place that graphic early, because a clean visual will save viewers from the same confusion the store created. Commenters can then answer the real question without guessing facts first. Honestly, everyone has seen this mess in another store already. Question now is simple. Where is the point where a digital store becomes too complex to trust anymore?